What's good, YouTube? This your boy Tony the Finesse Guy, man. And I've been waiting to share this video with y'all because it's crazy, man. We got a video on the Border Patrol corruption, man. They said they've been having a lot of problems. This video is about a year or two old, but I still like they still might have a few problems. And this would I hate to get into politics, but this is what everybody been trying to tell Trump. You know, a wall don't matter if you could just wave people right on in. You know what I'm saying? And I was just thinking it was crazy, man, how much money these guys are making on the side doing this, and you know how many people are getting on a daily basis. I wonder if anybody's getting in right now with the coronavirus outbreak. You know, I wonder if they got a lot of people that work at the border right now or not because of the coronavirus outbreak. But yeah, y'all, let's get in this video, man. I'm excited for it, so let's check it out.
A nude and decapitated body pulled from the waters off South Padre Island.
We collected evidence from the tire shop. Fingerprints were there in the hands.
I'm here with your husband.
He's the first suspect. Why?
It's hard to explain why your Border Patrol badge is with cocaine, money, and a cartel pistol.
A Border Patrol agent is being charged with capital murder associated with the Gulf Cartel.
He was on our team, so yeah, we're very concerned about that.
He is not one bad apple. He is part of a rate of corruption that exceeded that of any other U.S. federal law enforcement agency.
Beginning today, the United States of America gets back its borders.
Walls don't really do you any good if you can hire somebody to wave you through it. It was during the height of spring break.
South Padre Island! Beautiful, warm, and sandy.
Okay, can you give me a better location?
I'm in my boat right outside of the blue water tower, and we just happened to pull up on it, and it looks real. I mean, there's nothing that can help this person if it's a real body.
When we got the call through our dispatcher, I was on patrol. His neck, where his head was cut off, was at the surface of the water. His arms were sticking out like this, and we grabbed him by the arms and pulled him out. Then the legs, of course, came out.
The hands were there, fingerprints were there in the hands. We ran them through the machine, and lo and behold, we do get an identification on the body.
The victim is Francisco Palacios Paz, also known as Frankie.
A Honduran immigrant. Frankie worked at a tire shop in Edinburgh, Texas.
We identified people that were co-workers. To our surprise, you know, most of them said, well, he went to spring break. We collected evidence from the tire shop, discovered blood stains and blood spatters on the walls. More than likely, it was Frankie that had been killed there. We collected cell phone records. There was one text message.
So if it was blood splatter, they probably beat him, tortured him, you know what I'm saying? Because I be watching a lot of the forensic shows. If it was blood splatter, that means they was beating him, and then probably offed him right there, or they probably took him off, beat him, tortured him, then took him off, and killed him out there by the water, man. But they took this man's head off, and the only way they can identify him was his fingerprints. That's crazy.
What it read was that, you know, Frankie, he's going to snitch.
He's a damn traitor. He's going to finger you, identify you at any moment. So that established for us a motive.
These two brothers emerge, Eduardo Luna and Fernando Luna. Well, Fernando Luna was not at the tire shop.
Fernando was in Mexico. By the grace of God, that day he was coming back into the United States. When he did cross at customs, they ran his name, and lo and behold, the warrant pops up. And they tell us that there's a second person with him, identified as Joel Luna. Joel Luna was the third brother, the middle brother of the Lunas. When we found out he was a Border Patrol agent, this whole scenario now has changed.
In the last dozen years, more than 130 Customs and Border Protection officials have been arrested, charged, or convicted of corruption.
Mexican drug mafias annually send between $19 and $29 billion in proceeds from the United States to Mexico.
There's a huge incentive to work with cartels because of the money.
Obviously, he's brothers to them. Is he involved?
He was involved in laundering money to convert it into legitimate money to provide homes for his brothers.
We have a search warrant for his house and his mother-in-law's house. We end up finding a safe, a black safe. Joel Luna was standing outside.
We removed the black safe from inside the house. You don't know who the safe belongs to? No. Have you ever seen the safe before? No. Do you know the combination to the safe? No. Do you have any idea how the safe ended up in that house?
Joel had bought it with his own credit card. We opened it at our office. We found $89,000 in cash.
Joel Luna's commemorative Border Patrol badge, 1.5 kilos of cocaine.
Look at the look on. You see the look on the officer's face? He did the same look at it. And you know that there's probably more in there. That number is this the odd number? 89,000. There's probably like 150,000 or 200,000, maybe even 500,000. You know what I mean? But who knows? Maybe he did a Frank Lucas and had the money stashed off somewhere. You know what I'm saying? But you know, if the Border Patrol's dirty, there's some dirty officers. You know what I mean? And I'm pretty sure they pocket some of that money.
Methamphetamine.
Had the tray to cut the drugs, and the baggies to resell, the scale to weigh it, the spoon.
Prices on ammo, prices on who owed what.
They found this gun. A gun that's tied directly to the Gulf Cartel. It says Gulf Cartel on it. It has this word, this phrase on there, El Pájaro.
Pájaro's a bird.
El Pájaro was the name of Eduardo Luna, the brother of Joel Luna.
Eduardo Luna, El Pájaro, was a sicario. A sicario is a Spanish word for assassin. Well, when you get to a certain stage, your bosses make gifts.
It's hard to explain that away. It's hard to explain why your Border Patrol badge is in a safe with cocaine, money, and a cartel pistol.
Mi hijo Joel se vino para acá muy niño a estudiar y yo, mi esposo y mis hijos, otros dos allá.
Joel Luna graduates from high school, immediately goes into the United States military, serves our country in Iraq. All of this time, he's away from what his brothers have become.
He just always wanted to be close to his dad and his mom. So he was looking for something more local.
Over, make your way over here, over. Just drive the unit down there.
Vamos, mi primer carga que tumbamos.
Please leave your message.
Miss Dulce Luna, this is Sergeant Edgar Rivera with the Cameron County Sheriff's Office. I'm here with your husband. Okay, mija. I'm over here at the Cameron County.
As of right now, your husband has been detained. I'm like, what do you mean he has been detained? He's like, he's one of the the first suspect. I'm like,
if you his wife, you know what he doing. Don't act like you don't know what he doing. What do you mean he's the thing? What do you mean he's the person? Bitch, you knew what the fuck was going on. And ain't no way that hell y'all could be living up in that house. Because them border patrols don't make that kind of money for y'all to be living like that. Come on, dog. She knew what was up.
why? I just...
Joel was someone who made a mistake. The mistake he made was giving his brothers shelter. Brothers who he had been separated from.
It's not every day that a Border Patrol agent gets tried for cartel violence, but this is the story of Border Patrol corruption.
Mr. Luna is not one bad apple. He is part of a rate of corruption that exceeded that of any other U.S. federal law enforcement agency.
Beginning today, the United States of America gets back its borders. Our order calls for the hiring of another 5,000 Border Patrol officers.
The risk is that you do exactly what we did last time.
We'll increase the number of Border Patrol officers by an additional 6,000.
We dramatically ramped up Border Patrol agents. You got to hire people quickly. They cut corners. There was a real spike in Border Patrol corruption.
On average, more than one agent has been arrested every month for the past 11 years, frequently for drug or human trafficking.
It's doubled its size in 10 years. I think we're starting to see some problems as a result of that.
Transnational criminal organizations.
I just noticed something, man. My birthday is on the 10th, you know what I mean? And due to this coronavirus, I haven't been able to do much, go out. You know, everything's been going to shit. It just seems like lately, as Pisces, just been having some bad luck. Everything bad has been happening around our birthday. There's 3, 11, 10. That just bothers me, man.
Are doing all that they can to infiltrate CBP through our hiring initiatives. I spent 8 years in a senior leadership position at CBP, attempting to sound the alarm and put in place reforms.
The nation's largest law enforcement agency is trying to reform itself.
Congress to require that new employees pass a lie detector test.
Now, I was thinking the same thing. Like, why not make them, you know, take a lie detector test? You know what I mean? But from what I heard, some people can manipulate the machines and do little things with their foot, step on the thumbnail. I've heard of some things, you know what I mean? There's some things that I've seen on shows and that I've learned from watching TV, you know what I mean? So those things can be easily manipulated. And even Steve Wilkos, he does the polygraph test on his show. He said he would never hook up to a machine to take a polygraph test because it can always end up wrong and put you in a fucked up situation. So no, you can never ever hook me up to one of those machines.
About 60-some% of the people who take that test don't pass it. They make admissions to things that make them ineligible to hold a federal position or as a law enforcement officer in Border Patrol. So not all of that attrition is bad. But right now we're losing people faster than we can hire them. And part of the reason is polygraph. We need to have a hiring system, including a polygraph, that actually brings in people at faster than the rate that we lose them. One of the things that's under consideration now is moving from what they call the law enforcement test, which tests a complete version of your history, to a test that is specifically designed to see if you're susceptible to corruption, and it's also a shorter test.
That is a polygraph test designed to test analysts for the intelligence community, not for frontline law enforcement officers. They're doing a 180 from what was been recommended to fix the problem and going down the road in the opposite direction.
go to work every day, and maybe they don't make a lot of arrests that day, maybe they don't make any seizures, but they know that when they're on that line and they're watching and protecting, that it matters. So having more agents is going to help us.
We are definitely growing. We are currently doing an active recruitment campaign.
This was a criminal enterprise, and their enterprise was to import drugs. They had the intel because one of the brothers was a U.S. Border Patrol agent.
When the murder occurred, Joel was at his home in San Juan, getting ready for work. Joel was working when his brother, Eduardo, was driving the body of Franklin Palacios Paz to the island.
I made it a point to set the safe in front of the jury every day, and the jury just looked at it. The sicario, the assassin, Eduardo, took life without parole. And Fernando, the one who turned state's witness, he was deported.
A former Border Patrol agent at the center of a murder trial faced a judge this morning.
The jury and finding guilty of engaging in criminal activity.
Joel was acquitted of capital murder and murder. He was found guilty of the 2 counts of engaging in organized criminal activity.
I like telling the jury, tanto peca el que lo mata, como el que le sostiene la pata. If you aid and abet, then you're just as guilty as the guy who pulled the trigger.
One Border Patrol agent can undo an incredible amount of good that all the other Border Patrol agents do. And it occurred to me, walls don't really do you any good if you can hire somebody to wade you through it.
Man, that was good, man. I don't want to do too much talking because I wanted y'all to get a good feel, and I just do my little inputs in there every now and then. But man, that's crazy. You know what I mean? Yeah, they got to do more background checks, you know what I mean, on some of these guys, you know. But I understand why they doing it, but then at the same time, you know, I think they should let more people over, you know what I mean? Because not every Mexican out there is selling drugs and killing people like Trump said, you know what I mean? But yeah, man, hopefully, you know, we can get this thing under control, man. You know what I'm saying? I just want everybody to be happy, you know what I mean? But and I don't want y'all to get me wrong, because I don't want to get into the politics and everything. But like I said, I just want everybody to get along, man. But before I end this video, make sure y'all like, comment, and subscribe, and let me know what y'all, what else y'all want me to do a reaction video on. When you subscribe, hit that bell button. All right, y'all be safe out there.